Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and this week's nursery tour. It is a fun, the blue skies are out now, I'll just say that. We seem to be in a rainy pattern, very different than what it was last week with all the floods. Again, we cannot say thank you enough for all the thoughts, the prayers, the messages, the comments. You people are absolutely fantastic, and it fed our soul and made the cleanup of the nursery so much easier. The rains continue. I tell you, we just got an absolute downpour, but the blue skies are out, so let's have some fun and let's talk about plants. Of course, we are Creekside Nursery here in Dallas, North Carolina, a Zone 8A. We are just west of Charlotte. We do these nursery tours so you can see in real time what is growing, blooming, thriving, what's available here at the Garden Center. So if you're going to be swinging by to come see us Wednesdays through Saturdays at 9 to 3, we would love to have you, and this is going to be a sampling of what we have. Obviously, we can't touch on everything. We just like to kind of really hit the highlights of things that are really kind of catching our eye and what I think you might like as well in your garden. We have to talk about caladiums. I know that if you're a faithful watcher of Gardening with Creekside, then you probably know how much I love caladiums. Of course, this is all of these here are the Heart to Heart series from Proven Winners. These are phenomenal, beautiful, great caladiums. The vast majority of them are going to be sun or shade. I think historically we think of caladiums as being shade only. Because of the breeding, they now can absolutely take full sun. Are there some in here that are shade only? Yes, but that is the grand thing about the Proven Winners tag. This one's a little dirty, I'm cleaning it off for you. So this particular caladium is White Star. But if you can see on the tag right here on all the caladiums, it is going to tell you what your sun conditions are. This says sun, shade. That means it literally can do full sun. And when I mean full sun, I mean sun up to sundown, and it can go into the shade. I have personally tested these caladiums in those growing conditions. I love them because we are so hot, we're humid, we get rain all the time. Caladiums literally grow before your very eyes. If you remember the ones that we did at the front porch on those urns, every morning Jerry's like, oh my gosh, they grew more. Oh my gosh, they grew more. And so they come in so many colors. If you want to do a nice rich red, then this one is Fast Flash, a beautiful one. I've done a lot of them before, y'all. So that is a great one. Then we have Clowning Around. So if you want something that has a lot of texture and color in those reds, those greens, those whites, that is awesome. You can go for that. However, if you want something that's maybe a little bit more green and red, I mean, there's literally colors for everything. They do tend to go in those reds, pinks, and whites. So that's kind of the color palette. How can you use these in your garden? You can use them directly in the landscape. You can use them in containers. You can use them in hay racks, window boxes. They make stunning hanging baskets. Absolutely gorgeous. Sweet friend of mine, Amber, we visited her garden one time before. She is a relatively new gardener. She too has fallen in love with caladiums because they're so easy. This is the same one that I did on my front porch, and I totally was copying what Amber did in her hanging baskets. This is Snow Flurry. This is going to be more of a shade caladium. So what Amber did is she has a carport that really is deep shade. In her hanging baskets, she put a Snow Flurry, and then underneath it, she put a white Terminia that will come down. It is the most elegant basket I've ever seen. It pops in the shade. It is gorgeous. It inspired me to do my front porch containers. So they are just, I mean, they're great. So Snow Flurry is, you know, for the white, I mean, for the shade. Let's see if this is Snow Flurry as well. It is. So if you have that shade, remember, shade gardens, obviously by nature, tend to be a little darker. You want to bring something bright and light and white in it. This is absolutely perfect for that. So come get caladiums. If you've never done them before and you need something easy and showy, get the caladiums. You don't have to have flowers in order to be beautiful and showy. Now, one we've not talked about, and I'm not sure why, I think it just kind of gets overlooked. Y'all, this is a new calicasia. This is called Pharaoh's mask. Now, if you're familiar with Pharaoh's mask, if you remember, I'll try to put a picture up for you. But this is in the greenhouse, so it's not showing quite the color yet because of the UV protection. But Pharaoh's mask has these really prominent black veins in it, and then it will get this color and texture. It is the coolest calicasia, and you can see that they are starting to kind of spread. So of course the calicasias, they like the rain, they like the water. You're going to be in that sun, part shade conditions. I am going to use one. I've already grabbed one as soon as they came in. We're going to use one in the big Asian water bowl planter out in the signature garden. It is going to be the big like centerpiece of that container, and then underplant it with some other things. So if you want something really cool, like if you've got maybe a pool and you've got a container, or you put it directly in the landscape, you could totally do that. Hydrangeas are starting to bloom, my friends. Oh my word. So this is, oh my gosh, Cece told me which one this is. This is Can Do. Let's Dance Can Do. This is what we call a lace cap hydrangea. So if you can see, this is not going to be your traditional mop head. When you think of a hydrangea, you think of that big round ball. This is a lace cap. It is going to be pH dependent. If you have acidic soil, you're going to be blue. If you're more alkaline or neutral, you're going to be pink. Because of the fertilizers we use, this is pink. You put it in the landscape around here, it's going to turn blue. Also, look at this. The oak leaves are starting to bloom as well. This is the ruby slippers. She's tucked in here in the display, but the oak leaf, of course, has that classic oak leaf on it, hence its name. And look at those beautiful creamy blooms. More kind of like a cone shape in a panicle fashion. Oak leaves, though, are a completely different family of those hydrangeas. So mine at the house is blooming as well, and it is stunning. I have mine in a container. She is blooming in the container. I have them up by the entrance to the nursery. They're not quite blooming. They have buds, but they're not quite blooming yet. Of course, we still have loads of annuals, right? The sweet folks who are coming to visit are gobbling up the lantana and the pentas. These are wonderful annuals to put in your garden. Love the heat, love the humidity. They attract your butterflies, all your pollinators. They come in a range of colors, and they will literally go till a hard freeze. This is why I love lantana, is because of its durability. It's rabbit resistant, deer resistant. The bright pops of color. I mean, if you want the soft yellows to the bright yellows, if you want the oranges, if you want the pinks, if you want the reds, it comes in all of those colors. Buy some lantana, stick it in the ground in an area that maybe you just don't want to fuss over, that gets lots of sun. You will not be disappointed with the lantana. I don't need to say one word. Come buy your hydrangeas, people. This is Let's Dance Rhythmic Blue. I don't know what to say. If this thing does not sell this weekend, then y'all people are just crazy. I'm just telling you right now, you've lost your ever-loving minds, because this is the most stunning hydrangea. The Let's Dance Rhythmic Blue is relatively one of the new ones. The folks at Proven Winners and Spring Meadow is the nursery that does all the Proven Winners color choice shrubs. They have been doing some great breeding where they will take these macrophylla hydrangeas, this is what this is, that historically only bloomed on old growth, meaning if you had a late freeze or you pruned at the wrong time, you would have no blooms. What they've done is these hydrangeas now bloom on old growth, this is what you see, the old growth, and new growth. So that means it's going to continually put on flowers throughout the season. I love it. I was about to wash my hands of macrophylla hydrangeas because inevitably we would always get those late freezes. It would kill all my buds and I was not getting any flowers. Not with these new Let's Dances. So Rhythmic Blue, hence its name. With it in the acidic soil, you're going to be in that blue. If you are more alkaline neutral, you're going to be pink. This is going to be hardy in zones of 5 to 9, and it is going to be 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. Can you imagine this hydrangea 3 to 4 feet tall and wide with all of these blooms? Love it. So we've got more of these. They're out here, but they, I I can't help myself. That thing is absolutely stunning. Now, let's come outside just for a second. Just as you know, and we did literally just get a big old storm that just came through and dumped a ton of water, hence the poor hanging baskets that are a little smushed. But I want to say, for my folks who do the summerific hibiscus, obviously, as most of you know, about this time last week, a week ago, we got 5 inches of rain in like 30 minutes. Massive wind, tons and tons of rain. This is evening rose summerific, and it was, I mean, it was tall, it was gorgeous, it was really filled in. With the wind and the heavy rain, it pushed them down and it kind of split them open. I actually had some branches that actually like broke off and are gone. I chose just to leave them alone. You could have come in here and pruned them back, but if this happens to your summerifics, I just want to encourage you that the plant will be okay. It's going to go out, but then as you can see, it's starting to already come back up. These are very hardy plants. They can take a lot of beating. So I just want you to know, if you've had the same issue that I did, I personally chose just to leave them alone and let them come back up. They will fill in, but I know that some people wanted to go ahead and whack them and let them reflesh out. You can do that. It's discouraging. I was like, that was one of the things when I came over here with the storm, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me, because they were so incredibly gorgeous. Speaking of lantana, this is Miss Huff. Yeah, so we got in last week, I think right before the storm came, from one of our great suppliers. This is Miss Huff. Miss Huff lantana is one of the few like tried and true perennial lantanas for us. Depending on where you live, if you're more warm, you know, not a problem. But Miss Huff, if you remember, I had a Miss Huff, she can get really large over time. So I would think, I'm just one gardener to another, when you plant Miss Huff, you want to make sure that you know that in 3 to 4 years, she could be 5 feet tall, 5 feet wide, but a great hardy perennial lantana in those oranges and those yellows. So definite option for you there. I have to showcase this display that Cece has done. She has taken, that's what Cece is, just a genius in the fact of that she puts collections together that are just really pretty. All of these are faux planted in pots. They're not actually in soil, but she does this for you as inspiration. So you could absolutely take these plants out of their pots and really plant them in a container just like this. So this is meant to inspire you. We don't mind one bit if you end up taking these displays apart and buy the plants. That is what they are here for. But you can see she's got that Pharaoh's mask with some Ipomoea, some sweet potato vine, some scaevola, right? So all of that would be really pretty together. Caladiums mixed together. We've got petunias and begonias and verbenas, right? So all of those kinds of options that we really try to showcase for you here at the nursery. Of course, here we have more of the rhythmic blue, and we also have Tough Stuff Aha. So Tough Stuff Aha is still going to be like the Can Do, that is a mountain hydrangea that has that beautiful lace cap. So I personally am one, I mean, in my opinion, you can never have too many hydrangeas, right? Depending on what your growing conditions are. You got shade, I got a hydrangea for you. You got full sun, I got a hydrangea for you. The more the merrier in my garden. I do want to go ahead and let's come out here to the pines, because we've got some fun perennials out there as we go by. I just want to kind of showcase some things. Of course, the cat's pajamas Nepeta, a wildly popular one. The phenomenal lavender, this is one that absolutely will thrive in the heat, humidity, clay soil. Love this. We have that available. The Veronicas, we've got like the magic. This is the magic show. This is Ever After. Look at that. And there's more. Yeah, we have pink over here. I think this one got placed in the wrong spot. Look at that beautiful, really kind of light blue lavender, depends on how you want to look at it. Of course, Veronicas are going to be hardy in zones 4 to 8. So this is Ever After. We have got the Wizard of Oz. This is really fun. You can see the color difference between the two. Light, darker Wizard of Oz is very more of a purple. Of course, we have got the Pink Potion. Look at that. So much fun, right? Lovely. Now, because we have such an amazing relationship with Walters Gardens, we are able to get pre-releases of new introductions of perennials. That means these perennials I'm about to show you are technically available in 2025, so this time next year. However, Walters will pre-sell some of those new releases to some folks, and we are one of those folks. This is going to be one of them. This is the new series of the Alstroemeria. Yeah, Alstroemeria, I said that correctly. This particular one is Summer Breeze. I don't have any blooming right now. I've got buds, but this is going to be more in that like coral and yellow. These make great cut flowers. I did the red one up at the chicken coop. It is thriving. These are going to be 36 to 42 inches tall. Great bloomers. It's just really fun. You'll recognize Alstroemeria from like cut flowers that you would get at the grocery store. These are going to be hardy in zones 6 to 9, and they are going to bloom technically from like mid to late summer, right? So they're going to be continuous bloomer, lots of beautiful blended colors on this, and with those peach and those apricots, that dark variegated foliage is great. It needs well-drained soil with consistent moisture, and yeah, it's a quick grower. So there you go. So that is a new intro. We have that. And then we also have the new penstemons. So here we brought down the rose rhinestones. So this is a new series of the bejeweled. So you have rose rhinestones, and then there's, I forget what the other one is. We have it growing. It's not quite as ready as this rose rhinestones is. Let me get my tag. Let me show it to you first, because I do know y'all love a good tag, right? So you can look at that. Beautiful, bright, pinky coral color. Now let me give you the specs on it. Hardy in zones 4 to 8, and yeah, deep rose, pink tubular flowers, favorite among hummingbirds, long blooming, moderate size perennial, native. It has native roots. So everybody's looking for native plants. Here you go. This is a native hybrid, 14 to 16 inches tall. Obviously every year it just gets thicker and wider every year. So the hummingbirds have been visiting this along with the Monarda. Here we have the upscale red. We've got the lavender taffeta. You've got pink chenille. Loads of beautiful perennials are really starting to come in and show their color. I put a fun container together here. This is going to be more of a shade container, blending a hosta, the new begonia that's going to be coming out next year. This is a Rex begonia from Proven Winners that will be available next year. Of course, the Rocapuco, those double impatiens, and then a new miniature coleus that will be available next year as well. So lots of fun. Now come on, I want to show you some shrubs so you can see the water. Like I said, we just got loads of water, but talking about the water, look at this spigilla. So this is little redhead. This is a native. You will find this especially in the mountains of North Carolina. In fact, we had a customer who lived in the mountains of North Carolina, and she goes, yeah, I was just on a hike and saw them all over the mountainside. So the spigillas, they are going to be, this is when they bloom, this time of year, mid to late spring, bright red flowers with those little yellow, they open up yellow. Hummingbirds go nuts over this. We have them available in 1-gallon containers, but for a couple of years, production was hard to get going on these, and I would literally have people this time of year see it and they're like, can I just buy that? I'll just dig it up. I'm like, no, you can't dig up my plants. We have them available in gallons. Let's see, where are those? Oh, here they are. Okay, so back here, more hydrangeas, right? More blooming hydrangeas. This one is still, oh, this is Top Fun. So Top Fun, obviously it's a very fun one. Beautiful buds on it, still that mountain hydrangea. Beautiful colors, y'all, gorgeous. Up here though is what I was gonna tell you is a couple of the shade shrubs that I just put into the garden up by the gate. So this is Fatsia. Fatsia is a classic shade shrub. It is going to get, I think, in that like 4 to 5 foot tall and wide range, but really fun, right? You get these big, huge, green, glossy leaves. you can then come underneath it and plant any kind of shade perennial. You can do hostas, you can do ferns, you can do eucharis, you name it. But these fatsias are great. They are a good size. They're 3 gallons. Highly encourage you to do that. We have an Alice oak leaf hydrangea that is spectacular. Alice will get really big. So like when I put her at the gate bed, I have plenty of room for her to grow. That gorgeous oak leaf hydrangea. And then if you're looking for evergreen shade plants, you cannot go wrong with an Akuba. So this is a Akuba gold dust. It gets its name, of course, from that beautiful variegated foliage. It is evergreen. These are just a no-fuss shrub for the shade. This makes a great backdrop. So if you're needing some privacy or a screen in the back of your shade garden, plant this, just let it go. You don't have to prune it. You can then come in front of it and plant other fun things there. The rhododendrons that we were doing, the English roseums, they're growing and are very happy. And then where's the, oh, here we go, right here, I think. Yes? No, I'm looking for the pink frost. Oh, sorry. Jerry has to direct me sometimes. That's a Chindo viburnum. That's a great one too. But what I was looking for, here we go. These are a type of anise, right? So this is, I too planted this up at the shade bed, the gate bed. I had no intentions of planting this, but I was coming down looking for another thing. I found this and I was like, oh, we are doing this. This is pink frost anise. And let me go through and kind of tell you, it is an evergreen. It has a really nice fragrance. And for those of you that enjoy an afternoon cocktail, it kind of reminds you of a gin and tonic. That's what they say on the website, that it has that fragrance of like a gin and tonic. It has a lot of great color variation that will change throughout the season. Vigorous shrub for a shady location. It's going to be hardy in zones like 7 to 9. Ultimately 6 to 10 feet tall and wide. So this is where you could plant that one and get nice and big in the back of your garden. That's what I did. Pink frost has a lovely variegated white-green foliage, highlighted in the spring with beautiful pink maroon in color, and then your variegation turns pink rose in cold weather. Loves to be moist, but well-drained soils. And I will tell you, it really does smell like a gin and tonic. Like it has a really nice light fragrance to it. It's not a heavy scent, but it is lovely. So my people who need shade, big areas covered up, here you go. More hydrangeas. Jerry, if you go that way, I'll come this way and we'll meet in the middle. I wanted to show you that we have got some Invincibelle ruby hydrangeas down here that are blooming and are getting ready to bloom rather. Kimberly Queen ferns have those, so if you need some of those. We've got in here, there are some Invincibelles, and this is the Invincibelle Sublime. Sublime is going to be that really beautiful color specific, meaning it doesn't matter what your pH level is, a nice lime color. This is a gorgeous plant. Very happy, very vigorous. Now, if you are in the same zone that I am, or if you're in the south, the heat and the humidity, these do best with like morning sun, but afternoon shade, meaning they need a break for the hot, intense sun. They will do their best there. They bloom on new growth. You get flowers every single time. Praise the Lord, every single year. And then we've got, of course, beautiful shade plants, the Heaven Sent, I mean, just beautiful perennials. So no matter what you're looking for, like Heaven Sent is a great shade perennial for us here in the south. If you're in colder zones, it can handle more sun. It looks like a fern, but it's not. It's a Jacob's ladder. Whatever your growing conditions are, if you're going to be shade like the pines, or your full sun like the shrub lot down there, we have got something for you. You want annuals, you want perennials, you want shrubs, we have got it. So we would love to have you come visit us Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 to 3 here at Creekside. We have just, like I said, we've got lots of options available for you. We've got tons of hostas. Come get some hostas, because Jerry keeps fussing at me because he said I got too many hostas here in the inventory. I personally think you can never have too many hostas, but that's okay. So come prove him wrong and say that, yes, Jenny said we need to buy some hostas, so there you go. As always, we so appreciate all of your love and support. You folks are absolutely, simply amazing, and we so appreciate you. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.